Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today it's time to have a look at the devblog of the BT-7 F-32. This is one of the vehicles which is going to be available in Operation Heat. It is going to be the first of the ground vehicles that you can unlock. You only need 5 stars, so 5 marks of distinction, in order to get this vehicle. So let's talk about the BT-7 F-32. Do we have the gun in game? Is the BT-7 going to work well at a higher BR? All of these wonderful things. So the first thing to understand is, what is the BT-7 F-32? Well, during the early 40s, the Soviets were looking to redesign some of their older chassis to try and fit more modern standards, maybe try and work them out in different ways so they filled different roles. Obviously the BT-7 being quite a light vehicle but more of a tank destroyer than anything else, they decided to fit a bunch of different guns to it. This included the L11, which you find on the KV-1, the F-32, which you see in front of you, and then also guns such as on the T-26-4 in-game, which are machines which are low velocity 76s, the KT-28, which you also find very similar guns on the T-28 as well. All of these guns were tried basically to try and find a solution for dealing with stuff such as infantry support in the way of destroying modifications. So you needed an emphasis on HE, you needed an emphasis on a higher caliber, therefore the lower velocity 76 was favored over the 45, which was seen more of a tank destroying gun than anything else. The 45 being on the standard BT-7 with, as you can see, 760 meters per second, where if you go to the 76 F-32 on the KV-1E, you can see that it's sat at 615 meters per second for its standard round. So after all of these changes, after all of these different prototypes being built, they made around about 150 of BT-7s, which were, different to the norm, let's say. So there was around about 10, maybe 15 of these ones, the F-32 ones, since the L11 they tried to fit, but unfortunately didn't fit in the turret. Instead, the F-32 actually fit pretty well alongside all of the machine guns that you see, and here is a picture of it in action without obviously the machine guns. One of the key differences between the historic images you'll see and the machine that you see before you is all of the machine guns on it. It has one in the back sat looking backwards, it also has another one in a mount on top, and then it also has another one as a coaxial. So there's not going to be a lot of space in this turret, because if you have a look at the F-32 in game, it's represented in at least 2 forms. It's on the KV-1E, which is a special vehicle that the Soviets have access to. I believe it was a pack vehicle or a bundle vehicle, but nowadays it's kind of relegated to not being part of the main tech tree. It's obviously a premium. This is the breach that you can see, quite a hefty one, quite a long breach, so I can definitely see this taking up a large part of the BT-7 turret, so therefore it's going to be interesting to see how they fit everybody around it. The other example of this gun which you can find is on the German KV-1B, which you see at 4.3. So as you can see, it has the 76mm, the F-32, and if we just have a look here, you can see it's pretty much exactly the same as the KV-1E when it comes to its layout of its turret. So we can definitely see that the F-32 is already in game, so we can have a look at its stats and all of that stuff. It has an array of shells, including 2 APHEs, or APHE-BCs to be exact, a HE shell, a shrapnel shell, and also a smoke shell. So the shell you're mainly going to be using is this one, the BR350B, the mid-8 fuse. It has 86, 76, 31mm of pen across the board, 650 meters per second, and around about 100 grams of TNT equivalent explosive mass. So this shell, if you've never used it, it's a very good shell. At 4.3 it struggles a little bit because it doesn't pen every target, but since the BT is going to be a rank 2 vehicle, I've got a feeling it's going to have a much lower BR than the standard vehicles that have the F-32 gun. If we have a look at the L11, it's present on a 3.3 in the form of the T-34 and also the KV-1 L11. The T-34s after the 1940 have the F-34 cannon, which is like the upgrade of the F-32, so therefore there is no way, in my opinion, the BT-7 gets anywhere near that BR. We do know that it is a rank 2 machine, it is a light tank, and it's also premium, so that means that you get everything from it, locked. Everything from it, is unlocked for you when you get the vehicle. You don't have to spade it, you don't have to get any of the modifications, which is nice. It'll also come with some premium bonuses alongside of it. Another thing to also think about from this machine is I do believe the BTs can get hull broken if they're shot pretty much anywhere, since it's only 20mm of armor around it. So once you get hit, you're gonna die. So it's much better not to get hit in them than to soak some rounds. So this machine is going to be an incredibly fast machine with not a lot of armor but a decent gun on it. And since it's rank 2, the BR range of rank 2 vehicles that we have for the Soviets right now is from 2.0 to 4.3. So it's quite a massive range, but they emphasize in the article here the idea of the BT being able to be taken up into higher ranked battles. Now generally I don't like this idea where people can take low BR vehicles into high tiers, but it does show that at least from Gaijin's point of view, they definitely believe this machine can be up-tiered and also be used to gain spawn points to get into an attacker or bomber very early. I think most people's playstyles of the BT is going to be incredibly fast, incredibly ruckus. They're going to run at the enemy hard and cap a point and then try and defend it or try and do something like that, which is pretty much what you do in the BT nowadays. Whenever the World War II Chronicles ran around, that's pretty much how everybody played their BTs. So I can see this new BT-7 being exactly the same way when it comes to its playstyle. It should be really fun to use. I think personally I would stick it at 2327, so you could run it with the ZIS-30 and the Su-76M. Putting it up to 3.0 or 3.3 I don't think is required. I really don't think this gun is going to be as powerful as people think. And also on top of it, the reload is also going to be an issue. You've got to realize when you put in a larger gun in a turret, you're going to cramp up that turret a lot. So it should technically make the reload incredibly fast. Now, obviously we don't have it in game yet, so we can't have a look at what the breach is like. But you can see here on this BT with the 3-man crew, the breach is already quite large on the 45mm. Then if you add the KV's breach, which is a hell of a lot bigger, which is for the F-32, then you can see it should have a detrimental effect on the loader who is sat here. Now, whether that's the case or not, we're going to have to see, but it will definitely have a detrimental effect on the amount of ammunition that you can carry, and also other factors like that. And with the machine gun sat in the back, it's going to be incredibly similar to this. The thing I've never really understood is how can you have like ammunition here if you also have a machine gun here? That's never really made a lot of sense to me personally, but I'm sure this BT will be incredibly similar. So what you're getting out of this machine is a fast vehicle, not a ton of armor, but it's going to have a really good gun for its BR. It's going to have the ability to be up-tiered because of its scouting nature, because it's a rank 2 and they're giving it all of the scouting privileges. So this isn't just a vehicle you're going to see at its BR. This is a vehicle you're going to be seeing at a bunch of other BRs. I would kind of liken it to this machine, the Panzer II-H, which I do actually think does get up-tiered better than the BT-7 will, just because of its gun having a lot higher penetration on its rounds, 150 to be exact. But this machine is really fun at higher tiers, even around 7077. I don't recommend doing that, but if you feel like it, you have a little machine which is incredibly fast running around the place with a 3-man crew, and every so often, yeah, you'll get killed by a plane, but you'll be able to scout, you'll be able to do a lot of damage to many other enemies. So if you're looking for a comparable vehicle right now, I think this, the Panzer II-H, or as it's known now, let's see, the 5cm Pak 38 auf Panzerkampfwagen 2 Sonderfahrgestell 901 is going to be comparable to it. So running it as a 2327, I think it's going to be great. I'm personally looking forward to this vehicle a lot. I think apart from the Orbital, this is going to be my second favorite vehicle out of it, just because it's a scout, just because it's quick, and just because it offers a different playstyle. Also, stabilization of the gun is going to be interesting to see how much of a wobble it's going to have. The Christie suspension that is on offer for the BT generally stabilizes the gun pretty well, even at high speeds, but with this 76, it should be a little bit more wobbly. We're going to have to see how that plays out. I'm definitely going to try it out, hopefully before it gets entered into the game, just so I can test it for you guys. But overall, this is looking incredibly promising when it comes to a premium at this BR. Hopefully it'll get more people into scouting, hopefully it'll get more people interested in different parts of the game. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Blackie, Daniel Stanton, John Ryman, Martinez, Moxie, Alobralo, Super Cacti, Grisvolk, Elove Goat, and Seductive Trash Can for supporting the channel.